Hello, welcome to my weekly vlog, Debra, Keirce Art Journey. I just got back from an amazing trip, probably the most inspiring trip I have ever taken. My friend Helen K. Beecham, she organized a group of artists to go through Perigord retreats on the most amazing, all-inclusive, like they cover your transportation, they cover your food, and they do gourmet meals, and they take you to a different medieval village every day. And it was so wonderful. But I thought about the things that I had to do, which having gone to Tokyo, Venice, Montreal, and different places now, and traveled quite a bit domestically, a lot of it with my WHAM group, Women Artist Mentors. We're on Facebook, whamartists.com is our website if you want to check us out. I thought about all the things that I've done in order to get good at this international travel thing, and I'm still a beginner myself, but in particular, with regard to artists, I wanted to mention a few things if you're new to the travel scene. First of all, you probably know if you're traveling internationally or even domestically, maybe, you want to make sure that your phone plan covers all of what you're going to need on your trip. So call your phone company ahead of time. Your credit cards, tell them that you're going to be traveling so they know, so they don't cut off your cash flow there. And then you want to have a couple hundred of whatever dollars worth of currency in whatever country you're going to be in, of course. So those aside, that's just anybody that travels should know that already. The thing that's difficult for artists a lot of times is your supplies. If you can ship your paint, if you're going to be painting or sketching or whatever, if you can ship them, and if you can plan to have a return label such that you can just drop it off somewhere and it ships back to you with the supplies and with the wet paintings and things, if you're painting in oils, then that would be ideal. That's what I would recommend. But a lot of times you want to bring things and you don't necessarily know if you're going to wind up, especially for example, if you're teaching a workshop someplace, you don't know, or doing a demonstration, you don't know if you're going to have things confiscated in TSA, and you might be kind of worried about having things shipped and maybe not having them arrive on time, or maybe you don't have somebody at the venue to collect them for you. Whatever the situation, sometimes you need to travel with your supplies. So here's what I have to say. There is something that you can do. You can write a note to TSA and you can explain to them, these are not hazardous, they're expensive. They are artists' colors or artists' pigments or artists' supplies made with vegetable oil. Do not say paint. Never say paint. That's like a trigger word for TSA. And it really, really is important, whatever you bring, whether it's your oil paints or your solvents or your mediums, make sure that you have your MSDS along with it. You can contact the company that makes your product, and every company that makes anything, it's OSHA regulation, they have to have an MSDS. That's a material safety data sheet. Some people call them SDSs, safety data sheet. So Gamblin has, they do it wonderfully. They've got it all on their website. If you go to gamblin.com and just look up travel tips for artists or MSDS sheets, I think they call it safety data sheets, then you can find everything you need on Gamblin products. They're great. And they've even got a note that you can, the note already written out, that you can put in your suitcase and it said the checked baggage, and it says to TSA, you know, this is the situation, these are not hazardous, and this is why, here's all the MSDSs, you know, take a look and satisfy yourself. But again, never say paint, say artist colors made from vegetable oil. And one thing that is really of concern to everybody, but to TSA especially, is the flash point of whatever you're bringing. So for TSA, they say that they want nothing that has a flash point at or below 140 degrees Fahrenheit or 60 degrees centigrade. What is a flash point? That is the point where when air is mixing with the fumes from whatever your product is, it could ignite if there's a spark, or even sometimes just spontaneously. So you've heard probably horror stories, or you should have heard horror stories about people that had turpentine on cloths or other solvents, and they put them in, you know, the trash can, and then overnight the thing starts on fire and the studio burns down. That's a terrible tragedy that is so avoidable, because everybody knows that turpentine has a flash point of 30 to 46 degrees centigrade, which is 86 to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. I live in Northern Virginia. We oftentimes get, temperatures that are above 86 degrees here. So if you've got your turpentine on your paper towels in your trash can and it's 90 degrees outside, and that trash can, the lid's down and everything in there is mixing and warming up, that spells trouble. So be very careful. I don't use turpentine in my studio. I would just rather not deal with it. Instead, I use Gamsol. Gamsol is a Gamlin product. I'm a big Gamlin fan. And it has a flash point of 146 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is safe for travel. That's hot enough that you're rarely going to see 146 degrees Fahrenheit. If you do, then you've got some other things melting, wires and stuff would be in trouble. So you can bring Gamsol along with you. Just make sure that if you do, you have that MSDS sheet to show that it's got a flash point of 146 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can even put the phone number for the company. Gamlin is happy to answer questions about it, if they were to take the time and trouble to call them. Remember that if you bring any supplies, and that are liquid or gel mediums, anything like that, not only do you have to worry about the flash point, but the amount. So 3.4 ounces is all you're allowed to bring through TSA. Just, be aware of that. And then, of course, don't bring anything like your palette knives or anything sharp or dangerous that could be construed as a weapon. Don't bring that in your carry-on. So that's what I have to say about the travel tips, and probably you have other suggestions. Put them in the comments down below. I'd really appreciate that. So will the people that take a look at this video. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week. I hope that helps.